I want to break down for you a clear and simple way to plan and automate a week's worth of social media content for your business. So I'm going to be breaking this video down into 5 phases. So the first phase is going to be the research phase. Second is going to be the scripting. Third, filming. Fourth, editing. And last but not least, the fifth, which is distribution. This is the exact process that myself, as well as my clients that I work with, do to ensure that we have pieces of content to post on our social media platforms every single day of the week. So for the first phase, when it comes to doing the research, what I do normally right off the bat is I schedule a particular day of just doing content. So whether it be for myself or for my clients, I make sure that it's in the calendar, that I can see it. So in my mind, I know for certain that I have to get it done and that it's scheduled and that it has to be a task that needs to be done for that day. So whether I plan it like on a Sunday or a Thursday or give it like a specific time block, that's the time I'm gonna be dedicating and creating the content. But what I do is that I put my phone on do not disturb. I make sure I don't have any distractions at all, and I just lock myself in my room and we start brainstorming topics. So when it comes to the research phase, it's really important to understand that there are tons of resources out there online. And 3 of them I really love using consistently. And one is going to be Google Trends, the other Answer the Public, and the third one is basically a Google search tactic that I will share with you shortly. When it comes to Google Trends, it's a website that was created by Google that gives you some very helpful analytical information related to the search volume of specific keywords. So you would type in your keyword and Google Trends would come back and give you a catalog or library of different type of topics that relate to that keyword based on search volume. And I really like this data because at the end of the day, it really gives you a good idea of what people are interested in based on search. So the second resource that I like is Answer the Public. And this website is slightly similar to Google Trends, but it's a lot more detailed in that it really gives you a good idea as far as what type of topics to create based on verbs. So long story short, Answer the Public scrapes data from search engines like Google and quickly produces a list of helpful phrases and questions people are asking around your keyword. And thirdly, as it relates to the research phase, I actually got and tried this specific strategy from an influencer that I follow on social media. His name is Omar Takari from the Think Media team. Amazing dude. And what you do is you use the Google search, you type in your keyword from your related niche. So we'll use the same example. You type in real estate market, and then next to it, you type in articles, and then you would come up with a ton of headlines coming from various news outlets that have like your catchy headlines, and then you can use those as inspiration in developing your content. But while utilizing those 3 resources I just told you about, I usually have like a running list of different types of titles and different types of topics that I would utilize. And then I take it one step further by organizing it by long form content, which is going to be YouTube all day, and then also short form content, which is going to be, you know, your TikToks, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, and Instagram Reels. And once we have that list solidified, we then enter the next phase. So the next phase, which is a scripting phase, is taking those ideas and titles that we developed in the first phase and making a script out of it. And I'm not gonna go into massive detail in this video about what to include in the script, but if you watch this video right here, it's gonna give you a step-by-step process of how I developed the script. But essentially the script is gonna be broken down into 3 sections. One is going to be the hook, second, the body, and third, the call to action. So in that same document where I put the titles and the topics in that first phase, I'm usually gonna space it out. Whichever titles or topics that I commit to for the shooting session, I basically separate those and then start creating my script underneath each title. Third phase is going to be filming the content. And if you've been following me for quite some time, you know that I've said time and time again that you always have 2 routes of doing things. 1 is going to be shooting it yourself, and 2, hiring a team to shoot it for you. And whichever path you decide to take, this is the most exciting part because you finally get to bring your idea to life. So the important thing to remember, especially in this phase, is that before the initial shooting, you want to go through your script and make sure it makes sense. What I and my clients usually do is we talk over the script. We literally talk the script out loud to make sure that it makes sense. And this really helps you in 2 ways. 1, it's really going to help you build your authentic voice, especially for your audience and for your current and future followers. And it's going to give you practice for when the shots really count. And the second thing is that remember that this is for fun and you really shouldn't put too much pressure on yourself. I know that it's easier said than done, but I did make a previous video where I gave some on-camera tips to make you more comfortable on camera, so make sure you check those out. So what also helps me in the filming process is that, especially if I'm gonna be shooting myself, I make sure that I film my videos into chunks. And what that does is that it really helps you in saying what you need to say, especially the important parts. Psychologically, it really gives you the freedom of not being afraid to mess up. It gives you one task to focus on. So for me, if I'm shooting myself and I just want to focus on my hook, I'll be super confident in saying that hook because I don't have to worry about saying whatever else is on my script in that first shot. So now we enter the fourth phase, which is the editing phase. And so you're going to utilize any softwares that are out there. There's a ton of them. You have CapCut, Final Cut, Adobe Premiere Pro, iMovie. And again, if you have the time, energy, and effort to edit your own videos, then more power to you. But if you decide to outsource the editing, there are tons of options out there. If you found any of this content helpful, make sure you hit that like button as well as the subscribe button. It's really gonna help out this channel a ton. I really do appreciate your support. Now, on to the last phase. So depending on the social media platforms that you're committing to, you wanna make sure that your clips are going to fit the appropriate dimensions for each platform. So when it comes to short form content like TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, and YouTube Shorts, you wanna make sure that your videos are vertical. And when it comes to long form content like YouTube and sometimes LinkedIn, you wanna make sure that your videos are horizontal. So depending on if I edited the videos myself or I had my team to edit it, what I do is that I grab the videos that are sent over to me, I save it on my camera roll on my phone. And after that, I usually have a bulk of videos ready to post and I will put those in my saved drafts. And so in a perfect world, you would want to schedule out these posts in advance. So there's a lot of resources out there. You can use Hero Posts, Later, as well as HubSpot. And what's great about these resources is that you're able to make posts way in advance. So you can do weeks, months, or in this case, 1 week in advance. So as far as YouTube goes, you can actually schedule out your posts. So you can log into YouTube, upload your footage, get it ready to go, and also schedule out when you want it to go live. So if you want to check out a previous video that I've done, which details every step of the content creation process, make sure you check that out. Until we meet again, keep crushing it, baby.